Down south, hunting is more than a pastime. It's a tradition. Whether you're tucked into a pine thicket for whitetail or chasing hogs through the bottoms, Nosler Ammo offers the kind of reliable, knockdown power that earns respect season after season. Trust the name that's built a reputation on performance. Trust Nosler.
Welcome to the Southern U Podcast, brought to you by Darden Archery on the OKest Podcast Network, with your co-host, Matt Brock, Jeremy Ferguson, and Taylor McMurtry. If you're looking for all things land-related in the Southeast, you came to the right place. Whether it's real estate, habitat, wildlife, or just being outdoors, this is the place for you. Welcome to the Southern U. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Southern U Podcast, where we talk all things land-related. We talk hunting, we talk ag, timber, real estate, and everything in between, and we're known to chase rabbits from time to time. Today, we got a really special episode for a couple reasons. Number one, it is our 50th episode. We've been doing every other week for almost 2 years now. October will be 2 years, and so this is episode number 50. We really appreciate you guys hanging out with us, and there's at least a couple of you that are listening and asking questions and hitting us up through social and that sort of thing. And so it's been a journey, and we are thankful that you guys have chosen to be part of it, because it's this thing's a grind, and but it's a lot of fun, and we really appreciate your support. Second reason we've got really cool episode is a good friend of mine, Parker McDonald of Southern Collective, is here with us this morning. And this is also, I believe, the earliest we've ever recorded a podcast on this on this show. So it's about 6:40 in the morning right now, because I hit Parker up at the absolute last minute, per usual around here. And so Parker said, yeah, man, I'm up for whatever. Can you do 6:30? I'm like, yeah, let's do it, man, whatever. Okay. But Parker, man, listen, really, I do appreciate you hanging out with us this morning. And our other guys, it would have been cool to have all of them on, but they are doing state burn licensing exams and real estate exams, closing, real estate closings. I mean, they're being pulled in a million different directions right now. So, I hate that they weren't able to join us, but I really appreciate you taking the time, man, especially at 6:40 in the morning.
Hey, man, absolutely. So we do a lot of podcasts. You talk about this being your 50th episode. I started out podcasting at doing the same thing bi-weekly. So every other week we would do a podcast episode of Southern Ground, starting out when I very first started in like 17 or 18.
Yeah.
And it was like, holy crap, this is hard. This is really hard work. And then we upped it to every week. We were doing it every week. And I was like, again, holy crap, this is hard. Well, now we've started this new thing where we're doing we're basically trying to hit 150 podcasts a year. Ooh. And to do that, we're doing these series within, we'll do a 6-week really intensive series where we'll have 3 episodes a week for 6 weeks. We did in spring, we did 31 episodes for the whole month of March. And so our podcasting time to do that has had to change to hey, can you do 6 a.m., to be able to split
right, yeah.
Squeeze episodes in where you can when you're trying to do that many episodes.
Yes.
And so for me, podcasting is it's all day is an opportunity to do a podcast from pretty much any time you're awake. If somebody can do a podcast at 2 a.m., sometimes it's right. That's the only time that we're not going to be battling for time for anything other than sleep. So yeah, dude, I appreciate you being flexible.
I tell our guys all the time, because so far, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a day where this hits and we just can't pull it off, but we have filmed every episode that we've done. And so, if you're just doing audio, I mean, I'm
Hmm.
not saying that's easy, but that's one thing. But when you're trying to also film it, then that has to be edited and all that. And it's like, look, guys, we're doing an episode on Tuesday. If you're there, that's awesome. If you're not there, I guess I'm gonna do it by myself. Like I just, we've
Yeah.
gotta get them out there, and so I have to have time to edit this stuff, and so I really tell the guys, I'm like, hey, can you film Tuesday? Yeah, what time? Like as early as humanly possible. That way, it gives me the most time
Yeah.
throughout the day to get it done and get it uploaded and scheduled and all the micro content and all that stuff. So, anyways, yeah, it's
What most people don't know about you, Taylor, is you're one of the only people, you're one of the few men that have seen me cry, like cry out of pain.
Oh yeah, I
Uh,
have. Man, I was there for that, and matter of fact, that was the very first time we hunted together.
yeah, it was.
It's like, oh
Cried like
man,
a girl.
we're bonded for life now. Like,
I had
that's
kidney stones for anybody wondering. I got kidney stones in the middle of the night. Me and Taylor were on a hunting trip in Mississippi,
yeah.
and it hit me like a freight train, man. And I had to wake Taylor up. I had to wake you up, buddy. I was like, hey, dude, I'm just gonna let you know. Probably gonna cry. You're probably gonna feel awkward right now because this is about the worst pain in the world. And it was true.
Gosh, man,
No lies were detected there.
you talk about like just feeling bad for somebody. Like that was a helpless feeling of like he's just laying in a hotel bed over there, just like in just gut wrenching pain. Like, dude, like, what do you want me to do? Like, do you want me to go get you medicine? Do I need to, we need to go to the hospital? Like, what do we need to do? And it's like, it's just part of it, man.
It'll pass.
Yeah, it's like it'll pass. And then he gets up, and that's just like one of the reasons we've got Parker on the show today is like, not only is he over there flopping around, dying of kidney stone pain, he still manages to kill one or two does.
I did kill a deer
Killed
that
a
day.
deer. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, cool, man. I'm perfectly healthy, and I couldn't get one close enough to, you know what I mean? Whatever.
I killed a deer. It like the way that the kidney stone happened is it hit real hard that first night, like hurt really bad. And I think you hunted and I didn't that
Mhm.
morning. And then that evening I was like, I mean, I think I could go. I think I could hunt. And I went to the very furthest corner of that property, shot a big giant fat doe. Like
Mhm.
remember how much fat she had on her?
Yes, yeah, that was crazy. It
Like
was like it was almost
a Midwestern deer.
like she was raised in a barn somewhere or
Yeah.
something, grain
Had to
fed.
drag her. It was the only place that the ranger, the little buggy, couldn't get to. So I had to drag it. And like I
Yeah,
was good. I don't know
yeah.
if that just like shook up the foundation a little bit and like like made that kidney stone worse because the next day it came back and then I had to go to the ER once I got home. It was like it was bad. It hurt. And then I got it again in December. That was the worst year of my
Oh,
life,
really?
dude.
I don't
Yeah.
know if I knew that. Oh
Yeah.
gosh, yeah, I
That
remember.
was November, October, beginning of November, I think, when me and you went. And then December 1st, I got another one.
Oh gosh, yeah, I think yeah, it was late October because their season's weird and a little bit later than we are for opening day and stuff. But yeah, because I was like driving home, I was on the way back, and yeah, I just get this text, and it's just like a like hospital bed view with like an
Yeah.
IV in his hand. I'm like, oh, dude, what's going on? So yeah, we've it's so funny. We really have not had a chance to really hunt a ton together, but
Hmm.
the one times that we have has been pretty eventful. So
Yes.
no dull
I
moments.
got to film you shoot one. I guess we
Yes.
didn't recover that one. I think it
No.
probably could have been recovered if
Yeah,
we had the
we
time.
we bumped it, and truthfully, it was probably a shot I should not have taken looking back because I was spun completely 180 degrees backwards, and it's always the hindsight's always 2020, I guess. But had I not shot at that one, there was like whatever four more that
Mhm.
came in
Yeah.
after it, and we were over in the tree acting the fool, because we just shot one on film and stuff. But if we had just, if I had just kept my mouth shut, we probably would have got a better opportunity. But anyways, yeah, good times, and we got to do it again soon.
Oh yeah.
It is upon us, which is kind of what the topic of discussion here is. We've really been focusing pretty heavy on like early season or summertime like management practices and stuff. And I know, generally speaking, we are talking about like private land and stuff that's been developed and managed and stuff like that. And for the most part, Parker, kind of you and your guys are hitting public ground and going around different states, and so it's a little different dynamic. But want to kind of take a little bit of hit the pause button on that for a second and pick your brain on just kind of some early season gear type stuff, because look, you're in Alabama too, and hunting virtually every state in the Southeast. I know you've hunted Georgia and Tennessee and Mississippi. I mean, you've kind of been all over, and even Midwestern states too. But in the early season, the common denominator is it's hot, and you've got a lot of food on the ground, and it's kind of like trying to narrow down where these deer are going to be, but also kind of like what gear selection goes into that or the thought process into your gear selection, because you've got to figure out what is essential, what you want to take with you, and what's not, because it's really hot out there, and I prefer to get to wherever I want to hunt the least amount of sweat as possible, so I don't stink the place up. So
Yeah.
But anyway, I guess just in that same spirit, before we jump in, it's something we always do on our episodes is we give just I don't say random shout outs, but we give shout outs. If there's somebody, if there's a business, if there's a person, whatever you want to give a shout out to before we jump in, I'll do one, but you're the guest. So if you got anybody you want to shout out before we jump in, go for it.
Somebody that I want to shout out right now.
Yeah, put you on the spot.
Holy cow, man.
Your taxidermist.
Yeah, my taxidermist. He's a good one. He's a good taxidermist. You know what? I'm gonna shout out. I'm gonna shout out my dad.
Yay!
All right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna shout out Papa Mac. He's pretty much the reason why I love this stuff.
Yeah.
I've my son's he's growing up. He's 6 years old right now, and people have told me I take him pretty much anywhere I can. I'll take him into the woods. I take him.
Mm-hmm.
I've been taking him and his sister into the woods since they were two. And the only reason why I'm doing that, and I've had people approach me and say, "Man, it seems like you're really doing a good job," and I don't know if I am or not. I'm just doing the only thing that was modeled for me, and that was my dad. He was not a hunter whenever I was born. He was an outdoorsman. He loved the outdoors. He was an Eagle Scout.
Okay. Cool.
But not a hunter, more of a fisherman, golfer, big into sports. But whenever I started expressing an interest in hunting, he went, I mean, as hard as somebody can go in West Texas. He started saving up for leases. He's a pastor. I know you're familiar with that life. So
Absolutely.
didn't make just a ton of money. I mean, we weren't broke by any stretch, but we weren't rich either. And West Texas hunting to get a kid into hunting in West Texas is an expensive process, because you don't just get to hunting. You don't have public land. You don't have $500 lease dues. I mean, we're talking about in the early 2000s and 90s, still into the thousands of what you're going to be paying for. So dad did that. He did that for me. So shout out to dad. He's 60. I think he's 61. I think he just turned 61, nice. Maybe just 60. He might be offended in this shout out, but
oh no.
But man, they're still they just took a new church in Arkansas, and it's challenging to me. I always imagine at 60 I'll be somewhere that I'm going to be for the rest of my life, and watching my parents kind of do what they're doing and follow a calling is huge, man. It's big.
That's really cool, man. I've not got a chance to meet your dad in person. I've talked to him on the phone a handful of times, just whenever he's called. We've been in the truck together, whatever. So great guy, and it is interesting because we got to go to Texas in January for that deer capture research project at the Faith Ranch, and it is a different dynamic out there. Where we're from here in Alabama. I mean, if you take 1 square mile, there could be 500 different landowners within that 1 square mile, and in parts of Texas, you got one guy that owns that.
Yeah,
land ownership and the acreage is so different than it is here. A lot of people talk about deer hunting being a rich man's game in Texas, because you either go hunt a high fence somewhere, or you pay an absurd amount of money to go hunt private land because there's just not any public. It's just
Or you're a rich man who has money,
yeah,
who has land in your family.
yeah. I mean,
Like
yeah, oil
that's kind
tycoons,
of it. Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
and
It
that's
is.
it.
It's tough, man. And like there is no public. There's no public around West Texas, South Texas. There's not much
Yeah.
in South Texas. The further east you go, you kind of get into some piney woods
Mm-hmm.
and a little bit of public around Houston, Austin. But the other thing about some of the public, and I've not lived there since I was like really 18. So I didn't really know much. I don't know much about the process, but a lot of it is quota. So what
Mm.
public is there is like you got to be drawn and selected to go and hunt it. And I believe some of them can be a pretty good hunt if you do get drawn.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's some places down south on public where there's nilgai
Oh
um,
yeah, absolutely. Get some
and axis
exotics.
deer. Yeah, it's really cool. It's a cool state. I love Texas, man. I loved hunting it. I wish I knew now.
Oh
I
gosh,
wish I
yeah,
wish when I was hunting it then I knew what I know now.
yeah.
Is like that's a cool thing. You talked about what y'all do with private land. Y'all talk a lot about private land and management and things like that. I grew up doing not necessarily the habitat management stuff, but I grew up hunting private land.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't start hunting public till I was, dang near 25, probably. And maybe even a little bit older than that. And but when you learn how to do that, going back to Texas, when I go back to Texas, I've been back to West Texas a turkey hunt. And dude, like the things that I have developed through hunting on public land and hunting even on private in the South, it's just a little bit different than doing that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The things that I've been able to learn, it's when I go to private, I feel super effective, man. Like I
Yeah,
feel like whenever I can step foot onto a piece of private ground that has been managed, um, man, I feel like I can go in and pretty much just
yeah. Well, I mean,
do
in
whatever.
in theory, like it should be easier. It should
Yeah,
be. I
yeah,
mean, not saying it always is, but everybody talks about this. It's the old saying, if you can kill them here, you can kill them anywhere, right? Well, if you can consistently get on public ground and put, I mean, look, deer of any caliber, but certainly mature deer,
mm-hmm.
um, when you set foot on private ground that's been managed like that, you ought to be able to do that pretty consistently. But um, I don't know, man. It's been a really cool journey because having a podcast with two guys that are biologists, former state biologists. Um,
Yeah, smart, two smart
yeah,
guys. Yeah,
yes,
you're
people
like,
that like I don't really belong in the same room with. I'm always outnumbered because they'll be like, yeah, this is how we do blah blah, and then I'll be like, well, okay, well, what about the common folk over here? Like, I want to stick up for the rest of us, and they've kind of shed some light on some things, and I've taken a little different, swung on the other end, kind of the spectrum of management and what deer to harvest and when to harvest, that sort of stuff. But at the same time, like I'm also still a bow hunter and I like to shoot stuff. So,
yeah, that's right.
but anyways, yeah, it's cool, man. And I guess shout out here. This is a shout out for one of our sponsors, and the reason I'm doing this too is I know that you're affiliated with them too. But Tethered sponsors us. They also sponsor you guys at Southern Collective, and so this is not a you should go buy a bunch of tethered stuff podcast, but they do they do a great job of just trying to give away knowledge and give away resources to make anybody better. It doesn't matter if you buy their stuff or not. Obviously they help us out, and that's great. But they do the teach and trains and stuff where like just bring whatever gear you got. Bring. We don't care what brand it is. We don't care. It's not about trying to necessarily make money. It's about kind of trying to share information. So if you're interested in kind of getting a little bit more mobile in your approach to hunting, maybe check them out or not. It's all right. It's not a huge deal. I'm not trying to push that down anyone's throat, but they're a good company and they make good stuff. So shout out to them.
You're going to hear a whole lot about tethered stuff if we're going to talk about early season
Yeah.
equipment.
Well,
So
I figured we would. I just wanted to say, like, full disclosure, we're not trying to to get you to buy nothing but tethered stuff, and if you buy something else, you're, moron or something. It's just, that's happens to be who we work with and who we believe in. So,
And they're not, the thing about Tethered, to your point, man, as opposed to other companies in the hunting space, Tethered has always been about growing saddle hunting and shedding light on
mhm.
what saddle hunting can do to help people. And also, here's the product.
Yep.
Here's the product that we think is what you need for that.
Mhm.
You don't have to buy it. Like you said, like I've been to so many teaching trains, hosted teaching trains, and the point is not sell equipment. There is a little bit there to sell, that they're selling if somebody wants it, but it's like they have people in all kinds of saddles climbing up trees, doing demos. They give opportunity for other companies to come in and do the same. And so they've always been about that. And that's just kind of their roots. That's how they started. They were the first to really like branch out and say, we're going to be a saddle hunting company. And I love all their stuff, man. Like I use it. I mean, when you look at my tethered system, like my whole hunting system from the ground up is like, oh, that's tethered, a mossy oak shirt, tethered. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it's like, it's pretty, like, I think they make great stuff. And I certainly have not ever felt held back by a tethered product. For
No,
sure.
no, I haven't either. If anything, they kind of put their foot on the gas to kind of accelerate things, make things a little bit better. And you hear Carl talk about, high speed, low drag. We just want to make things as efficient as we can. So, anyways, shout out to Tethered. You'll probably hear more about them as we go. But, and Parker, I know that you may or may not know this. Generally speaking, how we work on the podcast is I had a class in at Jacksonville State when I was in college. My favorite class I ever had. The teacher literally would stand up and he goes, all right, look, if you want to learn this subject matter, you will read the book on your own if you're interested in it. If you're not interested, you won't, and you'll fail the class. But like if you really want to learn about this stuff, you're going to take it upon yourself to read the textbook. We will never talk about it in here. We're going to talk about real world issues. And so basically, he would ask the class 5 questions and we would answer them the best of our ability. And then we would get to ask him 5 questions and he would answer them. And then we went home. That was every day. And I just love that format. And so that's kind of what we've adopted on the podcast. We ask 5 questions. And if that takes us an hour and a half, cool. If it takes us 35 minutes, cool. Then we just pack it up and go home after that. It's just,
yeah.
So anyways, if you're up for it, I got your
Yeah.
first early season gear question.
Okay, let's hit it.
So obviously, I mean, I think it's kind of this is lobbing up softballs here, an easy one, but your preferred method in early season, as far as hunting from elevation, lock-ons, climbers, saddles. I know you're a big saddle proponent, a big saddle guy. So you kind of maybe just talk a little bit about that and how that helps for specifically in early season when it's hot and there's bugs and temps are or humidity is really high and those sort of things.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I went from hunting from a climber straight to saddle, so there wasn't any like lightweight lock-ons, that I was running before saddle hunting. My last climber that I bought, well, the last year I bought this Lone Wolf hand climber that was sit and climb, and so it was a little bit lighter climber, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a Hawk Helium. Was that what it was called? The Hawk Helium climber? Hawk Warbird. It was the Warbird.
Yes, I had a Helium lock on. I've had one of those.
Yeah, it was the Warbird. So it kind of like folded down and was real flat, mobile, right? And it was not. And like that was also one of the first years where I really started hunting from my kayak a lot, and using the water access thing to get back into places. And number one, I mean, this is space that I had in the kayak was limited when you have a climber in there.
For sure.
But when you're hiking up, especially in hill country type areas where I'm hunting, man, I mean, like just weight and the where it sits at. So I wear a pack, obviously, which is way less than a climber. But that climber you just get a big sheet of sweat on your back. It's just 100% going to happen, even on the coldest day, because it covers up your whole back, And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not the guy who's like super worried about my sweat. I want to keep it minimum if I can. But dude, I have hunted too many days in Kentucky in September and had bucks come in, big bucks come by with mosquito spray all over me. You know what I mean? Like I'm a big time believer in, if you're going to set up, if you're not going to use any type of scent control, anything, or if you're just going to be like me and like, you know what, I don't want to get eaten up by mosquitoes, and so I just let the wind
or
and
ticks
thermals.
or chiggers, like
Exactly.
you know.
Yeah, like you're not gonna beat the deer. You're not gonna beat his nose. So
No.
if you get downwind of if a deer gets downwind of you, regardless of whatever you did, you kept sweating to a minimum, it's gonna blow. It's gonna be out of there.
Yep.
You're not gonna see it, most of the time. But if you'll use thermals, learn how to use thermals and things like that, like, man, you can keep sweat to a minimum. But to answer your first question, yeah, the saddle is the way that I go. It's um I'm a minimalist guy in general. Even with I film everything, so I got to take that equipment. But my filming equipment is bare bones, man. It's like I get the smallest stuff that I have. Everything I have is super minimal. So when it comes to a saddle that I'm looking for, when Tethered released the Mantis, the very first one, it's a pretty minimalist saddle. I was a fan. I honestly didn't really see the need for anything else. Like, I was, when they came out with the Phantom, I was like, why?
Yeah.
Why'd you need that? It don't, like, but I sat in a Phantom and I was like, okay, well, this is more minimalist than the Mantis. A little more comfortable. I mean, for me, I was pretty comfortable in the Mantis, but it was more minimalist. And then I think they did the Ultra Lock right after that, and I did not like the Ultra Lock. And there's been some others in between, like some Phantom Elites,
Yeah.
The Eberhardt, some of the grit stuff. But that Ultra Lock, they came out and everybody loved it because it was finally a comfort option from Tethered, and it was kind of like the Cadillac. But for me, I was like, I don't want that. I want minimal, and comfort is like, it's great, it's whatever, but at the end of the day, this is an uncomfortable sport. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
if it can keep me mostly comfortable, and if it can be a small, like, if I can feel like I'm not wearing anything, I'm not wearing a tree stand on my waist. And I felt like I was with the Ultra Lock a little bit because there was so many, ropes and the big huge pockets that are on it, and like, it was just too much for me. And then they released the Carnivore, and so that's where I'm at now. This Carnivore 2 panel is, dude, it is like, it's so sweet because you get the best of both worlds. I wasn't really in need of a 2 panel. Like, I didn't need it for comfort necessarily, but now that I got it, I'm like, this is pretty stinking comfortable. And the way that they have the system set up with the rad buttons, where it just clips on to the rad buttons, and it's basically the size of the Phantom that way. Right. You're able to walk in, and I like to walk in with my saddle on.
I do too. Yeah.
Early season, late season, it don't matter. I want to walk in with it on. I don't want to put it in my pack. And I don't like taking a bunch of time at the base of a tree to get ready. I like to get there, take my pack off, and go. So yeah, I know that's only question number one. That was a long way of answering it.
No, that's, I mean, it's funny though, because I mean, obviously we don't tee the guest up, so no one knows what questions we're going to ask, but you already sort of got into question number two there, because I was going to talk about some other stuff. I was going to ask you if you were going to more of a minimalist, or do you care about that type of stuff? But yeah, same deal. I actually got the Ultra Lock right now, and I like it. I had the Phantom before. That was the first one I ever had, and not really any complaints with it. I'm kind of like you, like, well, if you're going to put another one out there, I don't see the need in really upgrading, but I actually asked Ernie, I'm like, hey, if you had a limited budget, would you go with a newer platform that you guys have put out? Because I had the very first Predator, and it's the only thing I had. So I said, would you rather go that route, or would I be better served to get a saddle? And he was like, thought about it for a second. He was like, come put the saddle on for a second. And so we got to, the pole that they've got there in the shop, and put it on, and was like, okay, yeah, this definitely goes down farther on my legs. Of course, I'm not like, super crazy tall or anything, but I'm probably a little taller than the average person, and having that goes a little farther down my legs, I guess, does make a pretty good difference for me, and it certainly is more comfortable than the Phantom was for me. But I don't
Well,
mind it.
and you're doing a lot of, I mean, you already kind of said it. You're doing a lot of private land hunting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a little bit different thing. I mean, a ultra lock saddle is still so minimalist compared to a climber.
Oh
It's
gosh,
still
yeah.
so lightweight. You know, if you're talking about walking, you know, inside of a mile, like your process from the truck to your spot is a mile and under,
Mm-hmm.
like, dude, you're not gonna see much difference in weight.
No,
That's
you're
just not a big deal.
no, not at all. And so I and I'm very much of the mindset of like I'm not the toothpick and dental floss type guy. But like if I need something, I feel like it's either going to make my experience more enjoyable or it's gonna help me stay in the woods longer. I'm taking it with me. I don't care if it
Yeah.
weighs 50 pounds. Like I'm gonna take whatever I feel like I need to be successful and comfortable. So I like those big pockets because I'm gonna put like a tree saw in there. If I need that, I'm gonna put a pair of snips in it if I need to snip something. Like if I feel like I get up to a spot and I'm like, gosh, I really wish I had fill in the blank. I'm just going to bring it with me, and if it is a little bit more weight, I don't care. It's just
Yeah.
whatever. And some people hate that. It's like
I
I'm
hate
not
it.
going to. You know,
I hate it. I
like
don't bring anything, dude. My snacks, I started getting those little honey stinger snacks.
yeah,
They're like little, just, and the only reason I get that and the tuna packets, and the only reason is because they're just so thin, you can just like slide them in places. You know, I'm like
yeah,
I'm like choosing my snacks based
yeah.
on the size of them.
I know that is weird about me though. Like historically, I don't ever bring food or water in the woods with me ever. Like I don't know why. It's not like it's just something I don't think about. I'm
I
like
used to be like that until I
I'll eat my
started taking coffee, and I was like, "Oh, this is the best thing in the world. This is awesome."
yeah. That's that same trip. Yeah, that's when we both kind of discovered, dude. Tree
Yeah.
stand coffee rules. Like this is
Yeah,
awesome.
this is good stuff, man.
Yeah.
This tastes better up here.
Yes, it's something about being up 20 feet tastes better. Anyways, moving on here is I know we got limited time. Second question here is your pack. Do you run a pack with a frame or no frame? Are you super minimalist, or do you pack it in? I know you said, hey, look, you already said you're somewhat of a minimalist, but what does your pack look
Man,
like?
that's a good follow up because I'm not minimalist in my pack selection because I want a pack that can pack out a deer. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll a lot of my weight that I'm even carrying is going to be in a frame pack. So I use the Eberly Stock X2
Mm-hmm.
for a pretty good amount of time. I've used it for a lot. I packed out a ton of deer with the X2. And my what I'm looking for is I want something that I don't ever have to take another trip back to the truck. Like I don't want to shoot a deer and then have to walk back to the truck, shed all my stuff, and then come back and pack the deer out. That's an option if I'm close enough, if it's not super inconvenient. But most of the time, dude, I mean, I'm hunting with a boat and I need to get what I need to get done while I'm there. So if
Mm-hmm.
I make a marginal shot, sometimes I'll just sit up in the tree until all those hours, you know, and just kind of decompress and then go track but I want something that I can do that with. And so I use the X2. It's a really great pack. It was a really great pack on a budget until they realized that saddle hunters really like this pack. And so Everly Stock jacked up the price of it to like almost $300, I think now. And I have my thoughts on it, but Tethered made it easy to switch. Again, they came out with the Fast Pack,
Mm-hmm.
which was a minimalist kind of pack at first, not a frame pack, and I did not like it. I did not like hunting with it for for the way that it sat on my shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't have anything to do with the space. I love the pack itself, but the straps, I didn't love it. It didn't have a kidney belt,
Mm-hmm.
like a waist belt on it, and I didn't like that. Well, then they came out with this fast frame to go with it, and dude, I've packed out a deer with that. I only got to use it for a little bit last season,
Mm-hmm.
so this is going to be my first full year. But I used it all early season last year, so
Okay.
from September through October, I used that frame pack. I don't know if you can see it; it's kind of laying on the ground right here. Um, my favorite thing about that pack is that I can carry all my camera equipment. I carry three sticks, an aider, a platform, my saddle. I think one of the things, a camera arm, camera, GoPro, Insta360, coffee mug. Like you can pack. I packed all that out with a deer, in one trip.
Yeah, that's
Like
awesome.
with a hand free. I think I was holding my bow. So you're holding your bow. That's normal with one hand, and I had this hand free. Everything else was right here in my pack.
Yeah.
And that's the thing for me. Like I want something that I can do it all right there, right then and there. And oh, game bags is another thing too.
Okay. Yeah.
Keep in my pack. Game bags, kill kit, knife.
Mhm.
I do this backcountry. I call it a backcountry gambrel. I don't know if I've shown you this before.
Oh yeah, you, throw it up on your platform and string
Yeah,
them.
you
Yeah.
use your
Yeah.
ropes, and so my whole system, I need it for when I pack out a deer,
Mhm.
when I skin the deer. If anybody's interested in that, I think it's one. I'm not a smart person. I'm not like a super innovative person, but that was a good idea.
That was a good idea.
I
Yeah,
crushed that idea.
first time I ever saw you do that in one of your videos, I was like, man, I feel stupid for not ever thinking of that because it's pretty awesome. Just use what you got and it works. I mean, especially if you've got, like a mechanical, like a ropeman or something like
Yeah,
that, where you can just get leverage and it holds it. So yeah, that's a really cool setup too. Because my pack, I'm kind of with you. Like the odds of me ever having to pack out a deer is pretty low given where we hunt and that sort of thing. But uh, I just have gotten so used to having a frame pack. I've had one for so long. I've got the Diablo Dose, the second version of it, so it's not even made anymore. But man, like I have it, and same deal. All my camera gear goes in, all of my camera, my arm, and all that stuff. But I just like having a frame because if you absolutely needed it, most of the time you don't, but if you do, it's there. And matter of fact, last year on the SOA hunt, I hunted at Thigpen Hill way, way back in this place, and it was one of those places where once you like I had someone who used to hunt the property reach out through Instagram and tell me about, hey, just at least go scout this spot. Just you should go check it out anyways. And like it was one of those places where like I went out there and looked at it and there wasn't just like a ton of sign, but just looking at it was like I have to hunt here. Like it just like deer have to come through here. And I don't know what caliber of deer it's gonna be, but at some point something's coming through this little opening. So it took forever. I want to say straight line distance was like 700 or 800 yards from where we parked, but I mean it was like weaving through a creek and all this type of stuff. I don't know how far it really was to get back there, but I'm like, all right, I'm back here. If I shoot something, it better be a good one. And then in
yeah.
classic me fashion, the first butterball fat doe that shows up, I'm like, yep, you're getting it whack. so I didn't pack her out that way, but I took, again, I'm an idiot. I'm not a smart person, but I took my tree tether, went around the frame of my pack, and then went around the deer's neck, and basically had it like a kind of like the hunter safety system, like safety harnesses,
Yeah.
like you could do,
Yeah.
and just had it. The deer's on the ground, and I've got it strapped to my back, and just hammered down like a sled, and just
Yep.
and drug her out that way. And without a frame pack, it would not have been possible. It would have
Yeah.
collapsed the pack and would have been terrible. But
I've seen my buddy Pablo, he'll get into his saddle and like turn it like backwards. He'll turn the saddle backwards to where the bridge is kind of coming off of his back.
mm-hmm.
And he'll tie that bridge off to the deer and just use that tied on his waist and just use that to drag it out.
That's interesting.
It was a pretty good. I've seen him drag a doe out a long ways on this one spot, and he he was good. So
that's funny. Yeah,
another good option for dragging.
Yeah, for sure. I guess now we can get a little bit into kind of talking weaponry and those sort of things.
Yeah.
For early season, obviously, I mean, everywhere you go, with the exception of maybe a velvet season here or there where you can shoot a gun, but most of the time you're limited to archery equipment. Can you just briefly, look, man, if you've got to dip out for kid stuff, whatever, just let me
You're
know.
good.
But,
Yeah. Yeah. We're
um,
good right now.
um, but arrow spine, broadhead selection, those sort of things. What is your preferred? Are you a super lightweight arrow setup and expandable? Are you a Ranch Fairy
And
Special? Or somewhere in between?
so you asked this question knowing the answer is going to be complicated, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I
obviously.
kind of followed in the trend of with the high FOC,
Mm,
single bevel broadheads, and I saw some really good results from that. I really liked that. And the problem is I'm a short guy and I have a short draw length, and uh, man, a heavy arrow, like my pin gaps were like, an inch
hmm
from each other.
Yeah.
And I just missed too much, man. Like a slight misjudgment in yardage from, oh, that deer was actually, it wasn't 35, it was 30, it was 32. And, I shot way over its back because
hmm
there was just no margin for error. And then last year I had a situation on opening day in Kentucky. I don't know if you saw this video. Opening day in Kentucky, I had this doe come in, and obviously it's opening day. I'm ready to shoot something, and so she came. It's like 7 yard shot, crushed her just right behind the shoulder. She took 2 steps, ran forward, and stopped like right in front of my tree, right underneath me. And so I took my cell phone out and I zoomed in on her. I was like, I'm about to get a cool video of this deer crashing right underneath me.
hmm
Well, she just walked off. And in the video, like I'm zooming in on her shoulder and you can see this slit like right behind her shoulder. Um and she is hit very well, like as good as
Yeah.
you could possibly imagine. And I never found the deer. The
What?
arrow was covered in fat. Uh it was the weirdest, thing. I'm actually putting out a um video, a film here at the beginning of September, and you'll see that hunt. It was
Yes, I was gonna give you a chance to plug that. By the way, I saw that with tethered stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be cool.
yeah, I'm fun. I'm fun. I'm excited about it. It's gonna be fun. I'm
I'm fun.
fun.
I'm
Yeah,
fun.
I'm
I'm a fun
fun.
guy.
I'm a fun guy. No, hold on. My wife is
She's
needing the
probably like,
keys.
she's probably like, where are you at,
It's
dude?
like, where are you at? I've told her just to go ahead and go, and she can come back and get me. Um,
Okay.
so so yeah, so that sent me down a whole rabbit trail, dude, of like last year. I was like, well, this is the stuff I've been doing. um I gotta change something. I've got to change. Like, I've lost too many deer to a system that's supposed to not lose deer,
hmm
like it's supposed to be for the marginal shots, those heavy cut on contact broadheads. It's supposed to be for the marginal shots, and my good shots, I'm not finding them. So I was like, you know what, Sever's come a long ways since I switched from mechanicals.
hmm
A lot of these companies have come a long way. Grim Reaper's come a long way since then. And so I bought some Severs, dude, and like,
Never look back.
I mean, like I'm probably gonna shoot Severs or Grim Reapers this year.
hmm
Um, because they shoot good and they have a big old huge cut. And I need to worry about getting an arrow in the deer first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, like, I was just struggling to get the arrow in the deer with these cut on contacts, with a heavier setup. So now I think my total arrow weight's uh like 450.
hmm
You know what? I've gone back and forth. I may have ended up right at 500.
Yeah.
Which is not super heavy. It's not super light. It's kind of somewhere right in the middle. I've got
Well,
125 grain broadhead on the front. Um,
yeah. I mean, what I would say too. This is again not from a place of um, being an expert or anything like that, but like I used to work in an archery pro shop, and so I have tinkered and played, and I have messed with a lot of different setups for different occasions and different things. Um, what's up?
podcast bomb.
Try it.
Love y'all. Have a good day.
I told y'all this is real stuff, man.
Yeah,
Like going to school.
Yeah, we're going to school. Sorry about that.
You're good.
I was supposed to be going with them, but we'll be all right. We're good.
Well, just you can blame it on me, I guess. My bad. Anyways, I've played with a lot of setups. I played with a lot of different spines, like just different draw links, like all this different stuff. And basically, what I can confidently say, just from like actual real world experience and putting this stuff to the test, is simply going from a really big expandable broadhead. I don't care that we won't talk about arrow spine or arrow weight. Just going from a big expandable, like a Grim Reaper Whitetail Special. That's a 3-blade, 2-inch diameter head. Going from something like that to a one-piece, either dual bevel, double bevel, or single bevel, one-piece, 2-blade. The amount of penetration that you gain just from going from a 3-blade expandable to a 2-blade fixed is enough for most people. Like you can probably keep your current setup. Again, I'm speaking in generalities, but most of the time, because like, don't get me wrong, my draw length is about 29 and a half. Like I usually shoot a 70-pound bow, and I can get fair amounts of momentum and kinetic energy out of my setups.
Yeah.
I went lighter this year than I've gone probably in the last 5 or 6 years with my setup. Kind of the same thing. I wasn't missing, but I also was not confident to take a shot at 40. You know what I mean? That's hard to do in Alabama anyways, but it was just like, I know that I can hit that, all day long, but is that animal going to have time to react to the arc of this arrow and the amount of time it takes to get there? And if the answer is yes, then like, I'm just not going to shoot, because I'd rather just not. I don't want, I hate wounding animals and it sucks, but I just wanted something that gave me a little flatter trajectory if possible, and still offered up good penetration. And I think this year, counting Alabama and Texas, I think I shot 4 does, a couple javelinas, and a pig. And I mean, completely blew through like everything, like without, easily. You know what I'm saying? And I've got some really cool slow-mo footage of, I was scrambling around for the last minute trying to find some broadheads I shoot a 125 in the front as well, and trying to find something that would work for me, because I didn't know if we were going to get to go on this Texas trip or not, if I was going to get to go. And when I saw that I was like, I have no broadheads that are ready to go. And so the only thing I could find was some 125 Grim Reapers. And so I took those with me to Texas, and what fixed blade Magnus heads that I had. And I shot everything in Texas. Half the animals I shot there was with a Grim Reaper, and like complete pass through, no problem. And so it's just like, it's more about, you'll hear people talk about it all the time. It's more about shot placement, but it's more about maximizing the amount of momentum and kinetic energy that your setup offers. If you lose a ton of it in your broadhead selection, that's one thing. You can just make a switch from a single piece 2-blade head. That in and of itself is so much more efficient in penetration. You're definitely sacrificing cutting diameter, but I've kind of landed, I think last year my setup was somewhere around like 485 grains or something like that. But it's darts, dude. Like, it's just, I've still got a little bit of, got 100 grain outsert or focus system on the front of mine, and then 125 grain head. So it's still got plenty of FOC, but it's just not so much that it just kills my arrow at 40 yards or something. Right.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But anyway,
I've gone all over the place on that, man, and I might go back to fixed blade at some point. Like I'm definitely not the guy. I'm not going to have a fixed and a mechanical probably on at the same time in my quiver. Like I just don't do that.
I've had where I typically will have like all of fixed, and I'll have one expandable for like a coyote or something like that.
Yeah.
But generally, I don't do that either. And I wouldn't have shot the expandables on this. Like I said, I just could not get my hands on something that was 125 grains anywhere. That was all I could find, and it was like locally. And I'm like, all right, well, let's just shoot these, and
Yeah.
it worked
Well,
out
that's
fine.
another thing. That's another part of it, dude. Like, I get tired of having to like custom order every freaking broadhead that I get, and then you have to sharpen them all, and like it's just a whole process. They're more expensive. Like the whole process of it is like, man, I don't have time for this. Like, really, really, I don't. And I probably do. I don't enjoy it enough to like. I'm not sharpening broadheads out of hobby. Like I don't love it that much.
Well, I mean, I think it depends too. Like, I mean, you probably take more animals of somebody that I know personally. You and the other guy, Matt Brock, that's on our podcast. You two kill stuff every year, and in my head, I'm like, if I release 10 arrows at animals this season, assuming that I kill them. If I kill 10 animals in a season, dude, that's like a banner year. That's unbelievable for me. That just does not happen for me. And then you got guys like you and Matt that like 10's kind of a down year, man. Like, like I'm something up. What's going on?
I don't know if I would call 10 a down year. I had a down year last year, I would say, as far as numbers, and it was like 6.
Yeah.
Or something. Like I've had some years where if I hunt enough places and the stars align, where you end up with $6 by the end of the year.
Yeah.
And then that particular year, me and you hunted together, I was hateful on the does.
Yeah. I think by the time we got to Mississippi, he's like, yeah, I've killed like 5 does or something like that. I was like, gosh, dude, I haven't killed 5 does in the last 3 years. But anyways,
it's so much fun. Bow season is doe season. That's kind of like
you will. Everybody, listen. Don't get me wrong. I know there's magic in the rut, and that's fun and all that kind of stuff. Give me early season. I love hunting early season because you're expected to shoot does, and that's my game. I love it. And you just it's plenty of food on the ground, all that kind of stuff. Anyways, moving on. Number 4 here. You've talked about snacks already a little bit. Let's talk snacks or hydration. Like, what kind of stuff are you bringing with you to the tree for early season? Because it's obviously you're sweating and, temps are crazy high and humidity's high and mosquitoes are taking what's left of your blood and whatever. So what are you bringing with you actually to the tree to make sure you're hydrated and snacks and stuff?
Well, snacks and food. I am a sucker for the honey stingers. I love them. They're good. They're tasty. They're full of calories. But they're so good. It's for being a calorie like for runners and athletes and stuff to just kind of give you some energy or whatever. And I'll tell you what I'm going to be doing this year. I'm going to be the Mountain Ops Ignite. I'm going to be using that. Brett is a guy on our team, on our SoCo team, and he's the first one who gave me some of this Mountain Ops Ignite. And holy crap, dude. Like, you talk about something that can replace coffee and actually work for you. I love coffee, but it makes me a little bit lethargic, kind of makes me drag a little bit. I have to have it. I'll get a headache in the mornings if I don't, but not Spark, that's Advocare. Mountain Ops Ignite.
You're selling Advocare, you guys.
Yeah. Like, what's Spark? It's kind of the same. It's a similar taste too.
Yeah.
But it just loaded full of energy. Like, it gives me so much energy when I drive. If I need to like just bounce back, those days in the woods where you're like, I'm here, but man, I'm not. Like, I don't even know if I'm going to remember this day because I'm so tired.
Yes.
Take you a swig of Mountain Ops, man. That stuff's good. We're not like partnered with them or anything like that, but it works really, really well. Just get the little thing you can put in a water bottle, and that's gonna be my early season drink for sure.
Yeah, I had not. It's funny because I've not really, again, because I don't bring stuff to the tree with me really for the most part, but our mutual friend Jake, when he drew the Kentucky elk tag a couple years ago, we went up there for that. That's obviously, it takes place in September. His was a either sex archery tag, and so it's hot and bugs and all the things. But we were bringing those liquid IVs, and I will
Those are good
say
too.
they're good. But I'll say this, like they help me in terms of um, like recovery and stamina and those sort of things, being able to not cramp up and keeping you hydrated. However, you do need to make sure that like you're actually being active and you are sweating and stuff like that to take those, because there is a ton of salt in them. I mean, rightfully so. Like, I mean, you need sodium to replace the sodium that's coming out of you, but if there's not any coming out of you, you're just you're licking a salt block at that point. And
Such a good salt block too, man.
yes, they're very
Liquid
good.
IVs are legit. The pop, the like it's the red, white, and blue popsicle flavor.
Oh, I haven't had
Good
that, I don't think.
Lord. It's usually on sale and it's good.
Yeah, I had a water bottle, like a Nalgene or something, that would hold 32 ounces. So it's basically two bottled waters.
Yep.
So I'm like, oh, let's get crazy with it. Let's get the strawberry and a lemon lime, and I would like combine those. And oh man, that was like,
Lemon lime's where it's at on the liquid
yeah,
IVs, dude.
yes,
It tastes just like Gatorade.
and so yeah, I've used those on that particular hunt. And after that, it was like, in early season, if I'm going to bring something with me, I probably would bring some of these, because how, like, you can get in some of those situations getting up and down a tree, just trying to get out of your setup or whatever. Man, if you've had coffee and nothing else, then you've expended a bunch of calories and sweat getting to your spot. Like, you're trying to get down, it's like, oh, please don't cramp up, please don't cramp up.
Yeah.
Just get down.
Old guy problems.
Yes, for real. Yeah, you young bucks don't know anything about that, but it's coming. Just all it takes is time. Yeah, that's kind of me too. And are you a candy guy? Like, do you bring like Jake will bring like the jujubes and Mike and Ike's and stuff with him, and I'm like, I don't, I don't
Well, we established my coffee addiction. I'll get addiction. I'll get a headache if I don't drink coffee. I also have a nicotine addiction, and so I'm popping Zins about every 15 minutes in the woods. I'm not
yeah.
a candy guy. I love candy, but in the woods for whatever reason, I'm not a big snacker. I don't like to move. If I bring a
Mm,
snack, it's because I'm sitting, you know, until 2 or 3 or all day or something like that. That's when I'm going to bring food. If not, I'm just going to bring a water.
yeah.
Like I'm just going to bring a bottle of water, great value brand from the house, to
Yeah.
sit in my pack.
Yeah.
Uh,
So like on those all day sits though, which I mean, it's not early season most likely, but are you packing are you the guy that brings like a sandwich and like, all that type stuff, or
no, the honey stingers, I'll put 1 or 2 of those in there. They're kind of expensive, so I you can't go crazy.
yeah.
Sometimes if I'm on a trip, I'll buy a box of like oatmeal cream pies or something like that. And I'll put something snacky kind of like that in there. But I'll tell you one thing that I really liked is Walmart sells these, the tuna packets that are just square, like little
Mm-hmm.
square bags.
Starkist stuff or
Yep,
whatever. Yeah.
yep. But they make Walmart Great Value has a pulled pork in the same kind of bag, and it is legit. It's
What?
so good. So they're like, 62 cents for each one. So you can just go and load up. It might be a little bit more than that, but you just go load up at Walmart anywhere I go. If I go out of state, first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go grab those pulled porks if they got them. Some places have like a really good barbecue chicken. If you go to Dollar General, I think
Yeah.
sometimes you go to places that ain't got a Walmart, and you got to work with Dollar General, and they've got some similar stuff that's like barbecue chicken, I think. But those little
That's
bag
wild.
things are great because if you don't eat it, you can save it. You know,
Mm.
I use them for turkey season because they go right back in the back of my vest, and it just doesn't take up any room, man. And I carry a camp sport in my truck, but pretty much when I when I go to the woods, it's like I'm just getting it with my dirty fingers, just
That's right. There's no germs
popping
in the
that
woods.
finger in there, and I
Yeah.
mean,
That's
I'm doing
funny.
all right. I only got one eye that's kind of drifting one direction.
Yeah, that's what my dad says. Like we're both about as germophobic as you could possibly imagine. And dad, but when you're hunting, he'll be like, dude, like that kind of stuff. Like there's no germs in the woods. What are you talking about? Like, it's not like being in public. You're like,
I'll spread mayo on a sandwich with the same gutting knife that I just used, like we
right.
got it mostly cleaned off.
Yeah, that's fine. It's just fat. Oh man. All right. Last question here, number 5. Let's talk about your secret weapon. Maybe this is something that people don't think about that makes all the difference for you in early season. Is there like a piece of gear or something that you're like, dude, if you're not taking this with you, you're doing it wrong, or something that people just don't think about?
Man, I mean, my secret weapon's a boat. I think, I mean, and people think it's easy. People think that that's too easy of an answer. I got a boat. I could go do it. Go do it. I mean, it's hard. It's hard
Yeah.
to force yourself to get up as early as you got to get up to get a boat in the water and to boat into a place, in the dark, being on a boat in the dark, in the water, in the early season when it's humid and the fog is thick, thick, thick,
Hmm.
on the water. It's tough. Like it's hard. It's hard to convince yourself to go and do that every single day. But the reward that you get from it is, I mean, it's great. There's so many, and the best part about early season for me is deer in the summertime and in that early, in the south in October when it's still 90 degrees some days, they gravitate towards that water. They need it. The
Hmm.
thermal advantage that the deer get from water is huge, so they're going to be in closer to the water the earlier the season is. The other thing, you got all kinds of good stuff that's growing. Your buddies could um probably tell me exactly what it is, but I'm not
Right.
that smart, so I'm going to tell you there's just a lot of good things that grow near
Native,
the
we'll call it native browse. There you
yeah
go.
native browse that grows near the water. um and deer are gonna use. I mean, obviously you got acorns that are starting to drop too in that time frame, but they're so used to being close to that water. I found a lot of big bucks will bed overlooking water
Hmm.
in the early season, and so your approach can be very easy if you do it right. If you've been running a camera, you know where a buck's at. Popping up to that bedding point that he's been going to just right before he comes back, on a morning early season hunt is a huge benefit. And I don't think that you get that quite that benefit with walking in always. So I would say the boat's my secret weapon. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not a secret, and a lot of people know that boats are available to use, and they just won't do it. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I had an experience actually in Kentucky on the Tradewater River with Jake and another friend of ours. We were hunting up there early season, and they were in a two-man canoe, and I was in a Hobie kayak, and so that's kind of how we got to our spots. Now, I will say it requires a different level of discipline to get out there early enough because you don't have a motor. And I mean, if you got a boat that has a motor, you still got to get up early. But um, I know, I mean, it's just what I believe to be true. There was a spot that Jake had found, and he kind of told me about it, and we got in there and sort of scouted it the day before. And I know that if we had spent the majority of our time there, we hunted for 4 days, I think 4 or 5. But if I had gotten there and hunted that consistently, I would have put a buck on the ground on that trip because there was too much sign, and the one morning that I got in there early enough to hunt it, I saw one that was velvet and one that was hardhorn that would I mean I would have easily been the biggest deer I'd ever taken in my life. And but it's a different level of discipline to make yourself get up 2 hours earlier than you would normally get up, or if not more, to get out there. And so that's definitely, I mean, there's a lot of truth in that. Mine is probably a little more, I don't know, probably dumber, I guess, but I always carry a set of snips with me, even though they're heavy, and I can feel them, in the pocket of my saddle and stuff like that. But especially as I'm going up a tree, nothing makes me more like furious in the woods, even on like private land. Get up a tree. This is exactly where I wanted to be. This is the spot. And I get up in the tree, and then there is no possible way that I could shoot what I wanted to shoot because there's
Yeah.
something in my way. Like, it drives me crazy. Like, that was a complete waste. Like, everything, now it's like, do I get down and move somewhere else? What do I do? And so most of the time, once I'm tethered to the tree, I can take my lineman's belt and throw it over whatever I'm trying to and pull it to me and
Yeah.
snip it, and get it out of the way or whatever, because they're heavy and they are somewhat bulky. I've got a little pair of hawk snips that I use, and it works though. Like, it's so nice when you need something like that, clear a lane, and now when that animal shows up exactly where you know or you hope that it's going to show up, you can actually shoot it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever. So
Yeah.
like, bring a set of snips, and I bring an actual folding saw too with me, and a lot of people don't do that because they're so heavy. But I've got a little Wicked Ridge one that folds out, and
People should totally be checking out that new saw from Tethered.
yes,
Talking about like wanting to carry a saw
yes,
minimally.
yep, that's
That thing's
right.
Sweet.
Yeah, and it's cool too. I mean, I've not held one in my hand, but being able to just use that like a folding saw and then cut you something, and now it's essentially a pole saw.
Pole saw, dude. That's
and
insane.
those guys over there, they have ideas that I would never think of.
They've got
Stuff
autism. Is what they've got.
Yeah, they
They've got
probably
they got
do.
saddletism.
Yeah, they got that tism, that's for sure. Oh man. Well, yeah, but I guess that would be it for me. But Parker, man, I mean, that's all our questions. Have you got anything else? I mean, obviously you've got It's Just a Deer, which videos. Is that a series or is it just one video?
So it's going to be basically, I made it like a film, like a full length film. It's not a series. It came to me last year. Because you've heard that, you hear people say that, man, it's just a deer. Like, stop worrying so much about it. It's just a deer. But there's a lot of weight in that phrase too. Like, I gave the shout out that I gave my dad, that's involved in that. Like, yeah, it's just a deer, but there's a lot more that not just the hunt of the deer. There's a lot of life things that happen from our time in the woods chasing deer. So it's just a deer is true, but it's just a deer, man, and so that hit me kind of actually right after I'd shot at a buck and I shot him and thought he was dead. And my buddy Walter was coming to help me and bumped the deer up. The deer ran up and ran away onto private. And I was like, that was going to be my first buck of the season. And I had got my butt kicked in Kansas. Got drawn for Kansas, saw big bucks in Kansas, got my butt kicked there. And then I came home, and that was the first, kind of like one of the first hunts. And I just didn't recover this deer. And I'm like, golly, this sucks, dude. This is terrible.
Also,
but then,
in that same spirit, another really good film that he put out was that Deer Hunting Sucks or
yeah, oh sucks. yeah, self-filming.
Self-filming sucks.
That was it. Yeah, self-filming does suck. But no, I just kind of, and like this last year, I ended up having a really good season. I killed the biggest buck of my life on public, biggest buck of my life, period. But I killed him on public in Alabama. And that was like huge. And then I got to share a hunt with my son where I killed another really nice buck with him with me. And that was the first deer that he got to see that he ever saw die, and like, so that was huge. And then the first buck of the season, my buddy who I was telling you about that bumped up the deer, the very next day after that, we both doubled and killed bucks.
Nice.
And so, it turned out to be a huge season for me, but every single one of these hunts, it was more than just the hunt. If you watch a lot of my stuff, you're going to see me wake up in the morning, me kill a deer. Like, I'm the only character in my video a lot of times, maybe my dad. I solo hunt a lot. And it seemed like last year, every hunt revolved around camaraderie more than it did around, the solo aspect of deer hunting. And so I didn't get a ton of great footage, enough to where felt like I could make a 20-minute episode out of every hunt. I had a couple of them that I could have, a few of them, but when you put them all together, man, and you just like, you just watch the progression of the season. Like I told you, that the opening day started with that non-recovery, and it didn't make any sense. It was just stupid. It's like, this is so bow hunting,
Mm-hmm.
and and uh and yeah, it's just a deer, but crap, man. Like, I've been waiting on it's just a deer that just got away somehow. How did that deer get away? And so it's just I love the film. It was one of my favorite things that I have ever created. Um, and I think it's because I couldn't have created it without other people
Yeah,
in
that's
it.
cool.
You know, like I create a lot of stuff about just me, but this one really highlights the importance of good relationships, and whether that be with my dad, with my best friends, or with my son. It's all kind of represented there. So just a film, it's going to be a kind of like a movie, I guess. It's not quite as long as a movie. It's about an hour long, and action packed, I think.
That's cool, man.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm excited.
No, it's
I'm
really
fun.
it's been fun. So when can people look out for that?
So that's gonna come out on our YouTube channel on the 1st of September.
Okay.
So here in just 2.5 weeks or so,
Yeah.
we'll put that out there. It's done. I've got it done. I'll send it to you, Taylor, so you can check it out.
Yeah, man.
It's a I cried a lot while I was making it. Like, it was like one of those, like, not kidney stone crying. Like
Tears of joy.
there were times whenever it was like I was doing voiceovers and I was like, like trying to
Yeah,
get through it. It's a lot about my son and that relationship, and I think people will enjoy it.
that's cool, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it too because man, I've seen some of your other stuff and um, it really is. I think people that say things like it's just a deer in general probably have never hunted or not much because it's you hear that phrase amongst hunters a lot like hey man it's not always about the harvest, it's not always about actually bringing something home in the back of your truck. It's more about the memories you make with people around you and those sort of things. And so, if you are lucky enough, if you're blessed enough to have people around you that you get to enjoy the outdoors with, it's definitely more than just a deer.
Mm-hmm.
It's memories that you're making for a long time. And my son has I really I guess over the summers where it's kind of taken off, but he has gotten much more into fishing and um, he's not. My dad kind of pushed me into the woods really early, and I didn't like it. I was not. I was not a fan to start with, and so I kind of. I didn't come back to hunting until I was about 18 or 19 years old. I
Wow.
was. I mean, in his defense, he was just trying to get me into it, but it was like, hey, I'm 7. I don't want to be left in the woods until dark, and then you come get me. You know what I mean? Like I don't. I'm not. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, he wanted it was like he was pushing you to be a hunter. It wasn't necessarily about like the camaraderie and like making it fun, and
yeah,
that's the danger so many times, is like trying to find the balance between we're here to seriously hunt and we're here to just have a good time, like have a good experience in the woods. That's the hardest thing as a dad. I'm sure you know that. Like,
hmm well, and
trying
so
to
yeah, I mean, I try to not push my oldest because hey man, if you want to go with me, like you can. I want you to go. I can't wait for you to go sit in a tree with me. If you don't want to, that is okay. Like, buddy, you just you do your thing, and one day when you get interested, or if that ever happens, then that's great. Come on, but I just didn't want to push him quite as hard, but he's really gotten into fishing, and so we took a family vacation a few weeks ago, just to the beach at Panama City, and we fished from the beach and caught fish in the surf, and that dude, he ate that up. Like
it's
I
fun.
know now, like okay, next time we do this, I'm going to bring a camera and we're going to film some of this stuff because we caught Spanish mackerel from the beach, and I mean, I couldn't believe it, but he definitely couldn't believe it. It was like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, and so that kind of stuff is cool. But
And you know what? Fishing can give you that hunting can't. Scholarships.
hey, that is very true. That is very true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there ain't a whole lot of hunting scholarships being
no,
passed around, but
maybe
them
art.
fishermen,
Yes, maybe archery. That's about it,
maybe,
though.
yeah.
Certain programs, but yeah, and I mean, kind of in that same spirit of films and stuff being released. I know in the last episode I mentioned, and all of us were talking about a premiere property a listing that's coming available. I put together a project for this place called Triple Creek Farms in Pell City, Cook Springs area. Very humbling. It was the best. It is the most premier recreational property I've ever set foot on. Heavily managed for quail, and 3,600 acres, lodge, home. I mean, just you name it. It has everything. And I spent 2 whole days down there. Spent the night, filmed, and all the things, and finished that up. And I will drop the link in this video where you can see that listing. It's Gracie and Trey McElrath have that property. That's one I'm proud of. I worked really hard on that one, and even had a friend of mine, Seth Richardson, that helped me. He has an FPV drone and kind of helped me do some FPV stuff, and just really, really proud of how that one turned out. So if you want to see that listing or at least see the video, you can check that out too. But, it's just cool, man.
I can hear my cat making weird, terrible noises upstairs.
Well, that's what cats do, man. Cats are weird.
It thinks nobody's here right now.
Cats make weird noises because they are weird creatures.
That's right.
Parker, hey man, I really appreciate your time and getting up at 6:30 to hang out. Maybe I didn't get you in too much trouble with your wife. I'm sorry.
No, man, we're good.
Y'all are going car shopping, so send us a pic of what you get, man.
Yeah, we're trying to. We're about to head out right now. I'm gonna go. She was in an accident a couple weeks ago, so insurance has been amazing.
That's good.
Cool. That was sarcastic.
Sorry.
They have been great. So easy to work with, and we're looking for a car right here, right before deer season. I'm gonna be in a tree next Friday.
Good gosh, man.
In Tennessee, like I got no time to be buying no vehicles.
Got to get it done today.
That's right. So, but
awesome.
Dude, I do appreciate you asking me to come on, man. I love being a guest on a podcast because I have to usually be the host on a podcast.
For sure.
Being a guest is so much more fun, less pressure.
Oh yeah, for sure. And man, I just hopefully this year. I mean, I know you probably got a full schedule, but if you ever get the hankering to go kill some deer, just give me a shout. We'll find somewhere to go do it.
We'll make it happen, dude.
Yeah, man.
Hey, I appreciate you guys and all you guys are doing. Y'all are crushing it. You're doing a really good job.
We're doing the best we can out there. And if you haven't checked out the Southern Collective, check them out all social platforms. Anywhere a podcast can be listened to or streamed, they find them there. But it's actually Parker and 3 others, right? You got
So
Brent.
It's me and Walter, and then Matt Reeves, Brett Mashburn, and a fella named Joey Bell, who really helps us out a lot with our turkey stuff. He's not as involved in the deer stuff, but he does a great job with turkeys.
Cool.
And I think we're putting a bow in his hand this year. So
hey, here we go.
The turkey man's gonna kill a deer, I believe.
Yeah, let's do it.
He killed like a 130-inch buck off of his farm 2 years ago, so it's not like he never killed deer. I don't think he's ever bow hunted, which is going to be kind of fun. So we got a good group, man. Our guys are, I was going back and forth if I wanted to shout them out or shout my dad out, but I'll take this time to shout them out.
There you go.
They're awesome dudes, man.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we may be
without them.
Some stuff that we've got cooking. If we can ever get it off the ground, we may be sending some work to Matt. Send stuff his way. He's a forester, and we got clients in need. So
that's right.
Anyways, man, thanks so much. And
yeah, dude, appreciate you, man.
And I will. I'll check out the film. I saw it came through the text and stuff, but I'm sure it's awesome.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. And anybody, feel free to, if you got any questions on gear and saddle stuff, feel free to hit me up on Instagram, on the SoCo Instagram, Facebook, wherever.
Yep, you heard it here, guys. Well, thanks so much for tuning in for episode number 50. We got more stuff in the works. The season is upon us, rapidly approaching. So stay tuned. We got more stuff to throw at you. We'll see you on the next one.